Okay, let me make sure you all can see and hear. All right, 1 second here. All right. All praises be to the Most High. I thought I would come on. I have some serious information to relay to you, brothers and sisters, the family, during this Feast of Unleavened Bread throughout the four corners of the earth. I know this is a surprise. Hey, it's a surprise to me. I didn't know I was going to be on right now, but I'm here. Right? I am here. Okay, and a matter of fact, I also have the blog talk open for those who would like to call in today. How are my family doing? I see Sonia, Paula, Kalea. How you doing? Hadassah, Faith, how are you? Urona, David, y'all, Katura, Gabriella. That's right. The family's in the house. Yes, I had to come on. I was going to actually hold this for the Wednesday broadcast, but things are so fluid right now that I have to come before you daily almost, right? I know that you're probably not going to complain about that. All right, yeah, the sound went out. Hold on. One moment. All right. Let's see. Make sure there's no issues here because I'm jumping right in. If y'all don't mind. Let's see here. Widescreen. There you go. Okay. We're good to go. A matter of fact, okay, there's sound now. We're good. All right. Jumping right in. From the reports I've received, everyone in the church had a very, very blessed Passover. We're now in the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and there's so much I would like to go over for you all today. If you would like to call in, 515-605-9327, the number's on your screen. And by calling in, you can let us know how your Passover went. But I'll tell you right now, something happened spiritually in between. Something happened spiritually. And I say this during this Passover, where the Most High began to, Elder Gabar, his family, was with our family all weekend. And we talked a lot of things out. I'm going to sit with Elder Yarak from California. And the Spirit's been working, to help have our people in this earth understand exactly what's going on and how to prepare day to day, as far as how to prepare ourselves spiritually and understand how we can overcome these plagues. And I'll tell you, man, a matter of fact, let me text my mother's house right now so I can tell them that I'm actually live. Hold on. And I have a treat for you. I'm going to play something for you all today. A song that was created with the Courtneys, my family, and on this journey. And I'm going to play that for you a little later, so hold tight. It's not going to take long. But let me let my family know, my parents, my mother know that I'm actually live. Live now on YouTube. They say anytime. No one wanted to hear me at first for years, right? Anytime you have something, Junior, please let us know. Everyone everyone have their ear to the ground now. And I think they want to hear what you have to say. So And I'm just happy that I'm just happy that the Most High, sometimes Jacob seeketh the sign, but I'm just happy that people are now paying attention to the Most High and what he's doing. So better late than never, right? So doesn't matter if you was in this thing for 30 years or 20 years or just come in today, right? We all at the end of this receive the same penny. So I just let them know I'm on. They get mad at me. You worried about everybody else, and what about your family? Da, 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 da. I'm like, everyone else they've been in this. I mean, they know when. I don't even have to tell people I'm coming on live. I just come on live and people just pop up. So, but I digress. Going right back to this, I mean, this has been a long journey. The Most High showed us years ago this particular moment. And this morning, when the sun was coming up, the Most High was really working. I mean, it was clear as day in my mind. And the word that came in the understanding of this was the water. Now, of course, we've been talking about the water, the baptism, the water, that we must be baptized to receive that guidance, that spirit, but it's deeper than that. The fact that the earth, and we're going into that this weekend in the academy, that the earth was made out of the waters. And in creation, the Most High divided the waters from the waters. So something resonated in my mind, the water. And I got up and I said, what? Man, what they're doing is in the water. Immediately after that, and Santi can verify this, the brother that edit all of our videos. He edit our videos, and I mean, I pray for this brother with the tedious task he has with having to deal with the videos, with YouTube forever canceling all of our channels. I mean, our channel on YouTube have been canceled countless amount of times. And it was upon him, the Most High had a spirit on Santi to continue to archive the videos, put them up to start a brand new channel. And for those who've been following us for a while, you understand what we had to go through. But it was him. I'm doing the teaching, but it's him chronologizing all this through downloading videos, buying hard drives. And I thank the Most High for this brother. And he would have to upload the videos and he would edit the videos. So when you've seen all the different editing before Google Tube switched things from not being able to use any content, it was Brother Sandy. But I digress. Talked with Brother Sandy this morning as soon as I got up. Now, over in the Netherlands where he is in Europe, it's way later than it is here. So I said, Santi, years ago, there was a video that was taken down by this woman. It was a Jewish woman that was interviewed by the name of Janet Phelan. What we're going through now is eerily similar to what she was giving us in that interview. And that interview was in early 2015. I said everything this woman was saying on our show, and I thank the Most High for Azariah for getting her on the show. Now, keep in mind, for those who've just come in a year, 2 years, you probably didn't even hear this video, didn't see it, because YouTube began to purge these videos before we would understand exactly what was going on. Well, this woman, and I'm going to play the video today and with the audio today, and she was on our blog talk show. She was being interviewed from an undisclosed location. She had to leave America after she working with, the alphabet groups or whatever the case is, or the government or whatever. But this particular woman wanted to come on to warn us in particular, black people, Hispanic people, people in the ghettos. She left because in fear of her life, based on the blueprint she had, and began to publish them online, telling us that the fracking system isn't exactly what they're claiming it is, that they're making a pipeline throughout the whole earth. And you're going to hear it in a moment. I mean, throughout the whole earth in these major countries and in America, from coast to coast, from East Coast to West Coast. And what they'll do, and you'll hear it with their own words, they would be able to pump things, open up a valve and pump something that would have us exhibit flu-like symptoms in our homes, predominantly the black neighborhoods, the projects, and all that. And it all came to me this morning like we're living that interview. This is why she had to leave the country. What better way to take down a people? Now, of course, all of us going to get caught, in, regardless of your race. The powers that be would just use that as collateral damage. I mean, there's going to be collateral damage through any war. But she highlighted, because this was the same time I got her on for an interview. I asked Azariah to find her because he said he heard something about her during the time of the Flint, Michigan beta test, because that's what it was. At the same time of the Flint, Michigan, when they were putting things in the water in Flint, having these same symptoms, was the same time they were claiming that Ebola was a black problem, a disease that causes fever and all that. And then Catholics was found in Africa pouring formaldehyde. People from the Catholic Church, they were white people in Africa, pouring formaldehyde in the wells at night, so that when our people, the poor people in Africa, would draw from the wells in the morning, they would exhibit flu-like symptoms. So I have this interview. I said, listen, YouTube took it down because they didn't want any of us to prepare for this and understand that what's going on after they laid these pipelines is they can put anything in the water they would like, just like for years they've been putting fluoride in the water. Well, they can use those same pipes and all that to now pump other agents that would have us exhibit what they would think is corona. Right? Now I need y'all going to hear this with me tonight. And may the Most High bless this woman's soul. I'm going to see if we can find her. I hope she's still around. But she had the schematics of all the pipelines they were laying down under the guise of drilling or looking for natural gas. Right? So there's no better way to explain it. I can't explain or quantify her particular words because I had my interview and with my inquiry in mind, I had my questions. You'll hear those things in the interview also. So I'm going to let you all hear this with me tonight to let you know the Most High been working with us for a long time to pull out some details to warn our people in preparation for what's to come. So not only is this a report after the feast, this is a report of this virus that we were discussing around 2015 with her name is Janet Phelan, and you're going to hear it in a moment. The video that GoogleTube didn't want you to see. And like I told brothers and sisters not to worry. Don't worry, the Most High seen this moment. He's seen this moment. So before I share this interview with you, there's a song I would like you all to hear. Okay? for such a moment as this. Listen to this. It's called Jacob's Crying. Jacob crying, but not for long.
I hear Jacob crying. Why here I can hear him crying. When you gonna rise, call on the Lord. Mighty Jacob, rise, let's hear your roar. When you gonna rise, Jacob? When you coming? When you cries, Jacob? You're falling. I feel Jacob rising. Can you see? I can see him rising.
Jacob, you can do it.
Jacob, dry your eyes and call on the Lord. Mighty Jacob, rise to be restored. Troubles are brewing, Jacob. You need to stop what you're doing. Oh, Jacob. You know the promise is waiting.
Promise is waiting.
Oh, you need to call on the Lord. So I can Jacob, dry your eyes and call on the Lord. Mighty Jacob, rise, and you will be restored. Troubles are brewing, no Jacob. Just stop what you're doing. Stop it, Jacob. Because the promise is waiting. Oh, Jacob. So call on the Lord, and He will hear your voice. Oh, Jacob, let us hear it. Oh no, let's hear that roar. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Ooh, Jacob, come and call on the Lord.
I hear Jacob crying. Oh, I can hear him crying. When you're gonna rise, Jacob, call on the Lord. Let's hear your roar.
Let's hear your roar, Jacob. Let's hear your roar. Let's hear the roar of Jacob. I praise the Almighty. I thank the Most High for an opportunity to come before you this evening during the time of Feast of Unleavened Bread. And brothers and sisters, it's time to put all petty differences aside and understand the time we're in. We need to hear Jacob's roar. Jacob need to stand up now. The enemy's at the door. And no better way to prepare than through the Spirit of the Almighty, and to understand the devices that are planned against us. Someone wanted to understand who sung that. My nephew, Shane Courtney. He sung the song. You had, of course, his mother Vera. The Spirit came and gave the song to her. Her husband came in, and Tom, he was a part of it, and it was their daughter Ava at the end of it. And it was a time during this journey in which our only release to some degree was singing to the Almighty, walking away from everything, living in a world of indecision. You understand? It's deep when you walk away on total faith. And only the Almighty can guide you. And you have those bad days. You have the days of wondering, what is this all about? Give us strength through it. We can't depend on the world like we used to. Please guide us through. And the music helped us through. And a lot of what you're hearing now, like Zion, Jacob crying, and there's many other songs, was made straight from the heart during our journey. And that particular song will be a part of the part 2, Music with the Purpose, Jacob crying. Okay, so without any further of ado, the corona. The corona, for those who didn't know, who thought that it was just about some disease. Not to say that corona isn't a disease, because it's in the majority of the cold and flus we've all been getting throughout our lifetimes. Even the common cold was created for this moment against us. Okay? Now, look at your screen. What I have on your screen is the word corona. Now, in the alphabetical numerical order, the C is a 3. It's the third letter of the alphabet. The O is the 15th letter of the alphabet. The R is the 18th letter of the alphabet. The O is the 15th letter of the alphabet. The N is the 14th letter of the alphabet. And the 1 is the first letter of the alphabet. And corona has 6 characters. So when you add that up together, the corona together is 6 letters, which is 6. And when you add the numerical value of each letter, it's 666. Together, it's a code by the powers that be. The event that they're putting in, like we've mentioned, this event is putting in the system for the mark of the beast, 666. It's been in front of our face the whole time. 666. So it's more to do with bringing forth, tearing down this system to upstart the beast system in which no one can trust anyone. Where we'll begin to look at each other like the enemy, where you'll think twice before having affection, having natural affection with those you love. Only Satan would set up a system that would tell people you're not allowed to hold hands and hug and love and embrace those you care about. It's a restart. It's the beast system. Corona is more so the beginning of the beast system than it is a disease. All right. So let's bring some understanding to this. By going back to 2015 to a video that YouTube took down before, knowing a few years ago they took this down once Google bought YouTube, knowing that we were talking about this very moment 5 years ago. Before 5 years ago, we were discussing that at the end of this, that there will be a target population. It always starts with everyone in China and all that, but that at the end of it, they will make the poor in these cities the disease. The pipelines that's in our cities, they're pumping the same things they had over there in Flint, Michigan, throughout all these cities. Now, what's going to happen is they're going to start coming up with all these numbers to claim that we have to shut these cities down. Now, what does that do if the majority of people locked down with the symptoms are black or people of color? That's going to make a line between the poor and the suburbians, predominantly the white and other races, on the outside of the city. So they're going to look at people who look like us as the plague, nation against nation, race against race. So this social distancing thing is a way now to first have everyone everywhere look at anyone as a possible enemy and separate to their own homes. But what's going on in your home being quarantined is not the same as what's going on in their homes being quarantined, and no one is telling you this. So what I'm about to do now, and guess what? Do what you want with the information, okay? Do what you want with the information. But brothers and sisters, understand that knowledge is power. And if you're ruled by fear, you'll be one of the first to go. If you're ruled by fear, which means you're ruled by the fear within you, this is what the powers that be are banking on. Understand that you will be one of the first to go. So that we don't take too much time, let's jump right into the video that YouTube took down 2015, an interview we did with Janet Phelan, who had to flee to Mexico after exposing the pipelines that they were actually implementing throughout the whole United States to cause the symptoms you are seeing or you are hearing about on CNN and the news today. Listen up. 2015 Blog Talk, Elder Gaja and myself was interviewing Janet Phelan. Thank you, Sandy, for sending me this, all right? They didn't want people to see this. But check this out.
Fall and repent and do the first works, or else I will come unto thee quickly and remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repent. And people remember that first love that woke us up to the truth, that brought us here, why we here. You with me? And remember that.
Exactly. You have to go back to that first love, because that was Christ. That's before any level of what you would call negatives came in. Before anything that came in and tried to choke seed that didn't have a chance to grow. And that's what it talks about, that seed. You want to make sure your seed is planted on good soil. See, water's going to try to come in and sow poison.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to make you believe this is not what you know it is good for you. That's throughout the whole United States.
Oh, let's go back.
Situated in Latin America.
Here it comes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to make you believe this is not what you know it is good for you. I'm putting it out there. Brothers and sisters have to become more wise right now, because hey, what do you see we run into right now? The powers of this earth are playing for keeps, and they're ramping everything up against us, our people. And those that understand should not be in a viper mode. If anything, those that see and understand should be rallying together in the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like instead of coming closer, Satan is using something to divide, but I know what the Most High is doing. He's sifted.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I said there? I said instead of us working to come closer, Satan is using these menial conversations to divide us. Right? Everyone must divide and be quarantined into their own home. And see, they're not telling people what's going on purpose, because they want you under the spirit of anxiety. See, they know exactly what they're doing. They can tell you exactly what they're doing, but they need the anxiety, because through the anxiety, you'll begin to trust the people you care about less in your dependence on the government to keep you safe. See? So they're not saying separate from them. And they're saying separate from the people you care about and only listen to them who can keep you safe. That's Satan. Come on.
Because guess what? Everything, it must be tried. Those that are really with Christ will not receive any mess that will break their faith or destroy the brotherhood. I'll put it out there. All right. 1 second here.
Okay. Hi everyone, you are listening to the GOCC Surgeon International with Elder Prakashia and Raja. Our guest tonight was actually in studio is Janet Phelan. Before we go to it, let me put the numbers out to call in. 646-200-4309. That is 646-200-4309. Push 1. If you have a question or comment, when we open up the lines, looking forward to hear from everyone. Elder Prakashia, just let me know when you're ready, and we can go straight to the guest.
I'm ready. Come on, bring in the guests now. I'm a little excited here because, I'm excited that our brothers and sisters are going to hear what's going on in this earth. It's going to make them well informed. And obviously, I hope, help our people prepare. We have Janet Phelan on.
Okay, let's go.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you? How are you? Good to have you back.
I'm very pleased to be back on your show. Thank you so much for inviting me back.
I'll tell you what, I love your reception today as far as your phone. It seemed like the last time we had you on, there was little issues there, but everything is working out right now with it. So, all right.
I'm relieved to hear that.
Okay, if you don't mind me calling you Janet for short, just to, it's our second time talking, so I guess we can be on a first name basis now, right?
Certainly.
Oh, okay. Now, if you don't mind, for those who missed the last show that you were on, introduce yourself and give us a little background.
All right. Yeah, my name is Janet Phelan, and I'm an investigative reporter. I have worked in journalism over 30 years. At this point, I'm currently situated in Latin America, having left the United States under duress. I write at this point in time for New Eastern Outlook, which is situated in Moscow, Russia. and we have a digital journal which is online. And I am finding that the kind of journalism that I do, which became impossible to do in the U.S., is actually welcomed.
Now, there are some areas of this particular audio that you might not be able to hear clearly. But if one of those pieces, one of those parts come up in which you can't understand, I'll pause it and repeat some of the areas that might be a little distorted. All right.
Eastern Outlook. So that's where you can find my articles for the last couple of years.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, because I know some guests, I mean, some of the listeners might be asking. You said you had to go to South America under duress. I know that you've explained it in detail, but if you can make it short, just to give us an update on what happened that had you actually flee to South America under duress. Under duress by who?
Under duress by the United States government. I have written a book, which was published about a year ago, entitled Exile, that goes into the circumstances under which I fled. And believe you me, Edward Snowden got nothing on me here, except much more media coverage as to what happened to him. Essentially, without going into a lot of detail, because there is a book now available that will go into exactly what happened. There was an intelligence operation targeting my family. There was a murder. I am a witness to a murder, and the murder goes up, I believe, I know, to the highest levels of power. And as a result of my attempting to intervene in the murder, and as a result of my attempting to come forward about what happened surrounding the murder, I found myself almost murdered too. And there are details given in the book as to what happened in the entire situation. The name of at least one of the police officers who attacked me with lethal force is given in the book as well. So I found myself to be completely out of favor. We can say it that way, completely out of favor. Now, the important thing about this story is what are the implications of this murder? What does this mean about not only U.S. domestic policy, covert domestic policy, but also the United States' policy abroad? And it is the contention in my book that this particular small circumstance that happened in Southern California involving myself and another member of my family, in fact, has enormous implications concerning covert policies in the United States government, and that these policies, if allowed to play out without people becoming aware of them, will have devastating repercussions worldwide. So, I guess that's a mouthful there, isn't it?
Now, someone said that they can find this particular video on the channel. I have Anthony, a brother from VA, who actually had to rename some of the videos and uploaded it. So if you can find her name, Janet Phelan, under one of the videos, that's great, because it was called a different name and they took it down. I didn't know it was uploaded, but still, let's listen to it through.
Okay, well, picking up from where we left off, what we do know based on our last conversation, that you ended up going to South America under duress, like you said, because you had a blueprint of what they were actually doing within the inner cities, and not only that, throughout the whole United States, with an alternative plumbing line that they could release that things could be released through the water line to contaminate a house at random, whenever they choose. Is that true, that there's an alternative line that's being worked on under the United States and a fracking situation that they were drilling under, drilling under the United States? Give us an update on that.
Right. I did, following the circumstances that I was just discussing concerning the murder, I became very involved in researching eugenics policies in the United States, as well as eugenics mechanisms and delivery systems. And before leaving the U.S., I uncovered and had begun to write about this very skanky issue having to do with the double-line water system. And for those who are not yet aware of this, essentially what has happened in the U.S. over the last, I'd say, about 40 years is that there has been a concerted effort in many, if not all, cities and states to, shall we say, change the configuration of the water systems into a double-line water system. Now, what does this mean? What a double-line water system is, and the way that this has been reconfigured is that there is not one pipe running down the street with service lines connected to it. There are two pipes running down the street. Now, why is this of significance? Because the way that the system is actually configured, and before leaving the U.S., I did get some copies of blueprints, which I dutifully put online, so you can see them for yourself. The way the system...
Okay, brothers and sisters, some of it is distorted, but you can hear it clearly. She had the blueprints to show exactly what they were doing in the United States with the drilling underground. It had nothing to do with fracking and everything to do with adding an extra pipeline. So instead of the first pipeline that was working perfectly to deliver water to our homes in the cities, they added another pipeline that they could utilize to pump other agents in our water. So instead of one pipeline, they added a pipeline and told everyone they were just drilling for gas, for natural gas. She found out about this and took the blueprints and began to whistleblow.
Currently configured, it potentially serves as a delivery system. So let's say line one is water. No problem with that. There's service lines going in and out so that every house on the block can get water. But there's the second line. And what is running through the second line is being withheld at this point in time by remote control valves. And so the way the system is set up, what we have the potentiality here is that whatever is in the second line can, with the opening of the remote control valves you can selectively put into predetermined households whatever's in the second line. So let's say, for example, that we have rum or cocaine or arsenic, anything you can think of that could be in the second line could conceivably be delivered into pre-selected households by the opening of these remote control valves. Now, this I'm sure sounds very far-fetched. However, the blueprints completely support the contentions that this is what has happened. And not only that, but the responses by government when confronted with the existence of this second line are completely bizarre. And these responses have also been put online. They're attached to, I believe the article is called Water as a Weapon. So you can see where the response by the government is not like, oh, well, we have a second line as a backup line in case, no, that's not what they're saying. What they say is this is national security. We can't talk to you about this. Now, I was able to get these blueprints through stealth. So when I went to government agencies and officially requested blueprints, I got, I get, the national security response, we can't give you anything. And then in the case of Los Angeles County, City of Los Angeles, I actually got a letter back saying, okay, we're going to have to construct entirely new blueprints for you because there are national security issues here. So wait a little bit and we'll send you new blueprints, which they did. Unbeknownst to the City of Los Angeles, I had already secured the blueprints I had requested. I secured them through stealth, and I'll go into what that is in a moment. So when I compared what the city gave me, and every single blueprint they gave me was stamped redacted, which means they've taken information out. When I compared them with what I had, what was redacted, what was missing from the city blueprints was that second line. So there is quite a bit of concern and attempt to withhold information about that second line. Furthermore, if you look at the legislation passed in recent years, you can see that the efforts to hide information about the second line actually have become codified into federal law. And I'm thinking specifically of the Critical Infrastructure Information Protection Act, which was passed, I believe, in 2002. And according to this piece of legislation, it becomes a federal crime for any member of government to release information about protected critical infrastructure. And seeing that I can get all the blueprints I want from the city of Los Angeles, the city of Medford, Oregon, the city of Seattle, Washington, from Spokane, and did with that second line missing. But I can't, through normal channels, get the actual blueprints with the two lines. It does look like that second line is absolutely radioactive.
So they say the second line is absolutely, she said, absolutely radioactive. Now, she mentioned specific places like California, like all the major cities. She says, based on the blueprints you're seeing on the screen, that second pipe laid is a very dangerous pipe. For what? Listen.
One more piece of legislation I want to reference here, which was Section 817 of the USA Patriot Act, which was passed right after, as we know, the horrific events of September 11th. And Section 817 essentially gives the United States government immunity from violating its own biological weapons laws. So what this means is that the U.S. government can break the biological weapons statute. They can deploy, they can stockpile delivery systems, they can stockpile weapons without any culpability whatsoever. And you can read Section 817 for yourself. The critical section states that the prohibitions contained in this section shall not apply to any duly authorized United States governmental activity. So it becomes essentially legal for the U.S., we're putting that in quotes, legal for the U.S. to deploy biological weapons against their own citizens, because this is not talking about warfare. This is talking about domestic.
I don't know if y'all heard that. Based on the verbiage in the Patriot Act, it's become now legal for the government to use bioweapons against its citizens, like chemical warfare, like germ warfare.
And it also becomes illegal for the United States government, any member of the United States government, to release any information about what's going on with that second water pipe. And given the way that the system is set up, and anyone who wants to look at the blueprints, I would suggest an article entitled Homeward Bound, by me. The best blueprints I have are put up on that particular article, Homeward Bound. You can see very clearly you've got the two water lines, you've got the cross connections, we have had confirmation about the remote control valves. So what you've got is a situation where selective households can be targeted. And what this...
She say now, based on those pipes, this was 2015, folks. This is why GoogleTube took this video down. They didn't want you to prepare for this. Listen to that last piece again.
I've secured them through stealth, and I'll go into what that is in a moment. So when I compared what this looks like, a situation where pre-selected targets for any member of government to, everybody uses water. You use it in water.
Hold up, let me get it.
Sorry, City of Los
Sorry about
Angeles.
that.
I actually got a letter via break.
Let me get it. Hold up. Oh, I missed it. Hold up. Let me get it. There it is.
I want from the City of Los Angeles, the City of Medford, Oregon, the City of you use it in cooking, you use it, you drink it, you bathe.
Here it is.
U.S. to deploy biological weapons.
There it is.
Against their own citizens, because this is not talking about warfare. This is talking about domestic issues. And it also becomes illegal for the United States government, any member of the United States government, to release any information about what's going on with that second water pipe. And given the way that the system is set up, and anyone who wants to look at the blueprints, I would suggest an article entitled Homeward Bound by me. The best blueprints I have are put up on that particular article, Homeward Bound. You can see very clearly you've got the two water lines, you've got the cross connections, we have had confirmation about the remote control valves. So what you've got is a situation where selective households can be targeted. And what this looks like to me is this looks like eugenics. This looks like a situation where pre-selected targets can be eliminated without any official recognition that this is what happens. So, everybody uses water. You use it in water. You use it in cooking. You use it. You drink it. You bathe in it. And should whatever is in that second line be toxic and lethal, then what you have is a nearly undetectable system by which certain types of people can be eliminated. And what will the government say? Well, I imagine they'd say, we had a terrible pandemic, and all these people died.
When you say certain types of people, I'm leaning towards you actually saying, or probably mentioning, and predominantly, people of color. Is that correct?
I think people of color are. I think black people would be a target here, and I would think so. I think there are other groups as well, but I think given the history of the United States, yeah.
I'm saying, of course, other people will fall through the cracks within this, but their primary target is the quote-unquote minority population, you would say, right?
I don't think that they're going to wipe out the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant population. I think that there are a number of...
So as soon as that question was asked, then echoes started coming in. So I have to actually translate that. She was saying she don't think that what they're going to put in place will eliminate the white Anglo-Saxon population. It's not in place for that. So in a nutshell, for those who've just come in, we had this interview in 2015 and GoogleTube took the video down. It was actually highlighting exactly what's going on right now. For the last couple of years, you have seen construction all through your roads from one coast to the next. And you thought it was so that it can make it better for us to get to work, better roads. No, it was preparing for the tanks we're seeing now. We all thought when they was drilling the ground that they were drilling the ground and fracking for natural gas. They were really laying a second pipe that Janet Phelan told us about in 2015. She's been researching and gathering data and blueprints of this specific project since 2007. Now, the second pipe would be connected to certain homes and all that, where at any time it could release an agent that would have you exhibit certain symptoms. Now, there's more I want to hear there, but now let's bring it back up today. We're told to be quarantined in our homes because of a virus. All right. But just say hypothetically now that you are quarantined and that second pipe now is actually pumping one of those agents that's causing flu-like symptoms in one of the projects you're living in our cities. And you must be quarantined in your home, living in the projects. I'm going to use that as an example. A high rise, if you don't live in the projects. Well, the whole thing, because you're living there with other people, now they can come in and say, let's put police in front of that and quarantine the whole project. No one in, no one out. Turning a home or the projects into what? Its own prison. So it's one thing to have a prison complex in which you send someone to jail, but they can release prisons in this particular environment in which they can now lock down any locale, any building. See? Are you following me here? And think about this. If it's being pumped in your home, you're drinking the water, you're bathing with the water, you're cooking with the water. What's happening here? You're coming down with flu-like symptoms. You're taking your medication with the water. And now you're worried because what you're dealing with right now, as far as shortness of breath, compromised immunity, sneezing, flu symptoms. You're hearing what's going on the news, and they're driving your mind to say, you know what, I may have this corona. Let me go to the hospital or doctor. See? So I'm saying that to understand, if she told us about this a few years ago, and they took this video down, knowing that it would help us prepare ourselves or be forewarned, it's upon us to understand what's going on with that water. I was awakened this morning with the idea of water. And I'm like, what, baptism? No, it's in the water. It has nothing to do with the disease. It has everything to do with people exhibiting the symptoms. Well, if they are exhibiting the symptoms, they can now be diagnosed with corona and become an enemy of the state. Now, it's an ingenious plan by the so-called elite because they can apply this across the board, not just to a building, not just to a square mile, but a whole city if they would like. They could turn the whole city into a prison. Why? Because after the economy is reset, mom and pop businesses lose everything that they have because usually businesses are almost month to month, week to week. After people begin to lose property, not being able to pay rent, what are they going to do? The bank's going to come in and commandeer all types of property and all that. This is a reset where everything is being taken right up under the world citizens' foot. And now, in order for you to receive it back, you must acquiesce to the beast. Yes, we'll give you some extra cash. We'll give you a stipend. We'll give you a stipend. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. But when the system come back because of this corona, the world will never be the same. The world powers own everything now and can commandeer any property by claiming you are a virus. Now, for those who missed this, and I'm going to go back to the video because this is not going to be a long video tonight. We're going to hit it and quit it tonight, right? For those who missed it, there's corona right there. When you look at the word corona and line it up under its numerical value, C is a 3, O is 15, R is 18, O is 15, N is 14, and A is 1 in its numerical value. Corona is spelled with 6 letters. When you add up those numbers in its numerical value, you have 666. It's being used to bring forth the mark of the beast system, and that's what it's really about. They can have anyone exhibit the corona symptoms. If you listen to some of the side effects on the medication that's being advertised on your TV, it sounds like the same symptoms: dizziness, shortness of breath, not able to breathe. So 9 times out of 10, people are naturally exhibiting these particular symptoms already, but let alone if it's in the water. See that? It's 666, the mark of the beast. They're putting the beast system in place in which no one can trust anyone around them outside of government. You must be at the behest of government and not trust your family, not trust your loved ones, stay 6 feet apart, social distancing. All the people who can help you, you now distance from. And the only one we can depend on now that we're distancing ourselves from our loved ones is government. If you can overcome the spell, the magic they use through their wizardry, through their wine, Hollywood, you'll realize that nothing ever changed. It's the same world it was a month ago or 2 months ago. You're not exhibiting or seeing people dying all over the place. But they're making it so you can't see people dying all over the place because everyone is quarantined. So now they can now control you through their mind control, because many of us have been ignoring TV for the longest. Going to YouTube, going out, having our own time. We have forgotten mainstream TV and the junk that they use to program us with on that box. So now they're making it where they're forcing us into their programming through fear. Now let's go back to the interview. Corona is an operation that's bringing forth the mark of the beast. We should more so be careful with what we're drinking, what's coming out of our faucets, so that you're not exhibiting those particular side effects. You have to clean your water, filter your water. After the water's filtered, boil your water. You have to make sure you get big jugs of filtered water. You just can't be showering with that stuff if they pop, especially if you're in a poor neighborhood. This is Flint, Michigan on steroids. Okay? So we have to sound the trumpet for our people. And they're doing it right at the time of the Lord's Passover, when the Most High began to free our people out of Egypt. The same time Christ was crucified, they're dealing with this psyop. Let's go back to the interview.
Groups which are including black people, which have been clearly discriminated against almost since the birth of the United States of America.
Now, she said this is really going to inordinately affect black people who have always been discriminated against within the United States. And it's not to say it's not going to affect white people or other races, but you have to realize and understand how everyone began to treat the Chinese after they began to after the media had us believe that corona was a Chinese disease. When you look at the stock, when it comes to people trading with China, that went down. When it came to the restaurants that they had, even in the United States, for Chinese people who were actually born here in America, their business went down just because the media was relating a deadly disease with Chinese people. Now, suppose there's a bait and switch, where now instead of Chinese is over in America, and now the cases you're hearing inordinately are coming out of the poor communities, the Hispanic communities, the black communities. Then what's going to happen? It's going to be racism. You got to have people in the country viewing their own their own fellow citizens who are black and Hispanic and Indian and all that as plagues. Now your boss is going to have social distancing at the job. They're going to be looking at your application, looking at your location and say, well, where do you live at? Oh, man, you live in the area that's being quarantined right now. Go home to be quarantined and I'll get back with you. We're living in that right now, folks. Nation against nation. They're creating that environment. That right now you walk down the street and other people are looking at you like, and they're on this side, you on that side. The program, the Mark of the Beast program, is in full effect. People walking around with masks on. You go down one aisle and you have to duck and look and see if someone is in the aisle you're about to go into, and you'll wait for them to leave and you'll go down the aisle and grab your stuff real quick and run over. Full effect. Let's go.
And I think that black people are a primary target here.
Okay. So let me ask this, because I know that.
We get an echo here from the your side.
Oh, let me get past the echo here.
We get the echo from my.
You know, they've switched from pandemic type agent. So
Whatever it is, it can cause the CDC to call in military or authorities if it seems like someone is exhibiting certain pandemic symptoms.
You heard what I said there, I asked her. So based on what you're saying, because when I was listening to her, I'm like, well, included the view. What we're living in right now was in our interview 2015.
You understand? It seems like for instance, okay, go on.
yes, absolutely. And one of the issues, of course, is that should a pandemic be declared, whether it is a naturally occurring pandemic or something that has been nefariously pumped into our water pipes, at that point, a state of emergency might be declared, a martial law might be declared, and people may be quarantined inside their houses. Now,
Martial law might be declared. A state of emergency might be declared, and people might be quarantined to their houses. 2015. Listen to it again.
Let me ask you this. What's going on right now? When you say certain,
history and biology,
my side or her side?
and people may be quarantined inside their houses. Now, yes, that is correct. There was a recent article My voice is bouncing back. Is that happening on your end too?
Yes. Can you,
Hold up one second.
Yeah, you sound good. You're fine.
Okay. There was a recent article by John Rappaport, and the article was published on activistpost.com, in which he discussed the fact that it may not even be necessary to use a biological weapon, that given the state of science, chemistry and biology at this point in time, that it would be very possible to simply use chemical agents that would mimic the symptoms would mimic those of a pandemic type agent. So
Now, every time she was bringing important information, that it would echo. It's to a degree in which we had to actually invite her. This is her second interview here. We had her on before, and as soon as she was coming to clear, distinctive points, echoes would come in on the phone. But what she's saying here is that people would begin to exhibit symptoms by drinking the water from the second pipeline that was laid throughout the United States. Now, this woman had to flee and go into South America having these blueprints, because she had these blueprints and was publicly publishing them without the government's permission.
Whatever would be in the second line is that the other sources of water, and of course that would only intensify the problem.
Let me ask you this. What's going on right now? All right, let me ask you here, Janet, real quick. All right? Because this is deep right here. What is your assessment? What is your opinion on what's going on in Flint, Michigan?
It's a crisis few would expect of
With water.
21st century America.
Well, this is very troubling, what's going on in Flint, Michigan. As I imagine the listening audience may know, a state of emergency has been declared due to one of the interesting things reported in this article, Sidethought Project, was that having to do with these abandoned mines where there is the potential for water contamination. Is at 75% of the abandoned mines on federal and tribal lands. So once again, you have a demographic, a population which I believe is at risk through any sorts of eugenics policy launched by the United States, and this can be seen clearly through the policies that have gone on for decades having to do with Native Americans. So you have a demographic population which could very well be at risk, can be targeted, having water, very serious water contamination problem.
Okay, so based on her schematics, the North American Indians who do have land on reservations, waters, and if a virus is reported on the reservation, they'll be able to now make that reservation a prison for North American Indians.
Oh, one thing we noticed that seemed a little irregular, Janet, was that through this Flint, Michigan, there's been a large campaign, a great campaign to have military as a presence within Flint. Have you seen that?
Oh, yes, I certainly have. Yep.
So do you think that this is more so like and I was looking at it, like I've seen what happened in Katrina with the water when they blew the levees there. I was talking about it a couple of days ago, last Saturday, about how this is eerie similar, how these are controlled towns. Like there's some test going on for a greater purpose. What would you say on that? Because it seems to me that they shut down the water line that was coming from Detroit and put them back on a line that they knew that lead and poisoning was coming through the pipeline. So obviously this was like some sort of beta test. And then then you're bringing in the North American Indians. You're bringing in what they're doing within the eugenics program amongst black people. You're bringing these. You talk about these extra pipes that they put underground. It seems as if you put yourself on the line. Predominantly, it seems like you put yourself on a line for people of color here. Like you could just be quiet like most people. I'm sure you're not the only one to know that this is going on.
Well, frankly, I don't. I think color's skin deep. I think we're all brothers and sisters, and to me, this issue of if you have this color or you have this religion or you have this shape of a nose or it's really pretty irrelevant. I'm sorry, but this is the way I see things. So.
What I'm saying is,
yeah.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, most people would say, okay, this doesn't really affect you, so why are you sticking your neck out on the line? You understand? When really, we're genetically targeting a certain people for a specific purpose. This is really not harming you. Why even delve into this? You understand that there's some who would ask that question.
Well, it's an interesting thing what has happened in America and what has happened. Well, if you look at the media, okay, we know now that, we can see how clearly the media is controlled. And, it's actually shameful. Journalism is supposed to be a noble profession. It is not supposed to be a tool for the powerful to, cover up the really bad things they're doing. I had a sort of a dialogue going on recently on LinkedIn. It was a journalism group, and there were a bunch of journalists. There was one big Newsweek reporter on the group, and I was making some comments about what's happening in adult guardianship, which is an issue that has been, has aroused all kinds of concerns.
Okay, now she's digressing into other things when it comes to her particular circle. But what I highlighted in all this, brothers and sisters, when I was talking to her, is I was really thanking her for her courage and being courageous and speaking out for people that most ignore. Now, you may have others out there who are strictly racist and would like to think that, okay, if you're not my color, you're the devil and all these things. When yet our leaders aren't warning our people in the community about these pipelines that are now used to exhibit these particular symptoms. With Jesse Jackson and Reverend Al Sharpton and all these characters, they'll come out and march after the fact to calm the sheep. I'm going to march on Flinton and all. Where were you before Flint? This woman lost family members and everything and had to leave the country, warning our people, trying to put it out there. Wanted to be on our radio show while I was overseas, trying to put it out there that what they're about to do is going to disproportionately affect us. It's going to start off as if it's everybody at first. But at the end of the day, it's to lock down the minorities in the inner cities and claim that they are a virus that need to be quarantined. Now, of course, the Most High has a plan in this because they don't win in this, okay? Let's make it clear. The Most High is making a way. But I just thought it was eerily ironic when I woke up this morning and something, water came into my mind. Water. And I'm like, what is it? Is it baptism? Should we baptize more? And of course we should. But no, the pipelines they laid. That's pumping water. We're cooking with water. We are washing with water. And just suppose, what they're calling corona is being pumped through that second pipe that was laid within the last 2 years into our homes, into our children's baby bottles, into our children's food we're cooking for them, out of the shower, into our pores. And now all of a sudden they do it in a certain area, and that whole area must be quarantined because all of a sudden there was a rush to the hospital from that area of people exhibiting corona symptoms. Folks, know what you're drinking with, know what you're washing with. I made an effort to buy my mother, who's a senior citizen, I made an effort myself to make sure that she have big jugs of water to cook with and all that. And if need be, you just have to use the basin to wash up. What's coming through those spigots, through those faucets, could be deadly. It was enough that we continued to drink the faucet water after they told you that they were pumping fluoride into it, which we know is a known poison that causes fluorosis and cancer. And we still drunk the water. So the devil is saying, well, they drinking the water, they drinking cancer. Let's not stop here. They're not pushing back. They believe it's for their teeth. Okay, here it is. There's no teeth in their mouth, and they're still drinking the water. Okay? It's time for us to wake up. It's in the water, folks. It's in the water. Make sure you're not caught up. Know what you're drinking. Know what you're giving your family. Know what you're washing up with. Because why? Water is one of the rare things in life, which is the bare necessity. None of us can live without it. We were made out of the waters. The Most High took the firmament and divided the waters divided the waters from the waters. We all came out of waters, our mother's water. So the enemy is now using what the Most High made for good. He's making it bad for us by pumping stuff through our water. Folks, wake up. If you want to know what corona is, it's the introduction and reset for the mark of the beast system. When you look at the numerical value, it adds up to 666. Corona, 6 letters makes corona. You add 3, 15, 18, 15, 14, and 1 together, and you get 6, 6. 6, 6, 6. So since I have it up, let me read it, and then I'll go to a few calls. And then after that, I'm going to wish you all well. I thought that you would be forewarned. The Spirit during the Feast of Unleavened Bread is moving. And if the Most High is giving me something day to day, I'm not going to wait to a broadcast to give it to you. Okay? You want to know what that is? Know what Corona is? It's an event that's setting the new world economy. Okay? The new world government. Okay? That's what it's doing. It's resetting the bank systems for an electronic system in which money is the enemy because someone with corona might be passing you infected paper. So now people are going to be taking your dollars like this. Corona. This is on purpose. So now what you're going to hear, and think about it now, you're going to start hearing it. Sometimes you don't really pay attention unless you're first reminded of something. Sometimes the news fly right up over you, or some one of these programs that we're forced to see being quarantined will fly right up over us. But this is what you have to understand. Soon you're going to start hearing about how bad money was, how some crisis actor somewhere is going to be on CNN and saying, well, someone passed me a bill. What are we going to do about this? I work at the cash register and I was quarantined for 14 days because someone gave me a dollar bill or a $20 bill that had the coronavirus on it. Be ready to hear about that. How now the money is the problem. All right. It went from China, which was a staged event that everyone knew it was a staged event. I've spoken with people in Italy. There's nothing going on over there like they're claiming. Okay. Nothing is happening like they're saying. 666 mark of the beast. That's what Corona is coded for amongst the elite. This is an operation to reset the system and set forth the mark of the beast, in which anyone out here can be a suspect or an enemy. So what they're doing with this is they're allowing the citizens to police for them now, by you not being able to trust anyone, by separating, by quarantining. What you lose? You lose it. You begin to lose natural affection, natural social skills. It's enough they separated people with the cell phone, and which now we were just disconnected the whole time, not realizing, taking for granted, socializing and loving the people around us. Let me read this real quick. Revelations 13 reads, and what Revelations 13 is highlighting, brothers and sisters, is the fourth beast, the Roman Empire. And you noticed right now, the Roman Empire, which is the 10 horns, the EU or Europe, they have restricted anyone from any other country from traveling into the EU. Because all power now has gone back to the 10 horns. And they will implement the 666 system. And that's what Corona is about. It's taking the power from all the countries the Roman Empire discovered or created in the earth, using us as its servants. It's taking all the power back, all the source and the life source back from all the countries that they colonized, that they created. And it's going all back now. If you want any similitude of normalcy, you're going to need to acquiesce and accept the mark of the beast. And they're going to start with using fear. The fear. Okay, am I back? Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back, y'all. So what they're going to do with this operation, this 666 operation, which is Corona, they're going to now make it, since you're antisocial, you're already skeptical about everyone around you now. You're already in fear of your next door neighbor already, without your neighbor doing anything to you. Man, what sorcery to automatically make your next door neighbor, who you'll need through all of this, your enemy, in fear of one catching a virus. But yet the militaries and all that, they're not fear of, they're all together in legions with no fear of Corona entering. But you can't say hi and shake hands with your next door neighbor. Let me read this real quick. Revelation 13. This is what was shown to John on the Isle of Patmos. And it's deep that all those who didn't believe in the Bible are now living it. Okay, it doesn't matter if you don't believe in the Bible. You're living it anyway. See if Allah can give you the answers to what's going on right now. See if Buddha can give you the book and show you real time why we're in this earth quarantined. Let me read this real quick. Revelation 13:1 reads, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns." Well, now we know Rome was built on 7 mountains. There's 7 mountains that represents Rome. The 10 horns are the 10 countries which makes up the Roman Empire, the EU. Having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns. So these would have dominion on earth. Edomite dominion. And upon his heads the name blasphemy. So blasphemy is a lie. So this particular empire, Rome, Europe, would rule through deceit. And blasphemy, which means they would be adamant against God's law, the Bible. The laws given to Moses. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and the feet there was the feet of a bear, and its mouth as the mouth of a lion. So when you look at that leopard, it had the calculated military force, military mind of Alexander and the Greeks, who went through and took down the 4 quarters of the old world. So it would have the military might of Alexander and his generals. When it says also, it had the feet of the bear, it would have the fortitude to stand like the Persians, who are now the Iranians. So you're talking about a serious superpower who not only have the military ingenuity of the Greeks, of the original Greeks, but also the fortitude to stand in war like the Persians, Iran. And the mouth of a lion. That lion represents the Babylonian lion that had a man's face of Nebuchadnezzar. It would have the religious fortitude. It would have the religion of ancient Babylon. That's the Roman Empire. And the dragon gave him his power. Satan gave Europe their power, gave Edom their power. When? When Esau lost the birthright, when he sold his birthright and lost the blessing, he turned to the god of Canaan, the Canaanite god, Yahweh, who's Zeus. And that's when he sold his soul, Esau. He sold his soul to Satan in defiance against the God of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Esau is our brother. But because he was the firstborn and lost the birthright and blessing, he turned to the dragon for power. The dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast, because there was an eternal war. When our people, the Jews, the Israelites, began to war against the Roman Empire and wounded her, and we became, you got it, the kings of the Dark Ages. King James, Henry VIII, black nobility. We wounded Rome. But the Romans were patient and waited for their turn to be able to infiltrate our true Christian church. After they took down King James, after they took down black nobility, they were able to deceive the rest of the earth. By doing what with the Renaissance period eventually? Changing places, making everyone believe that they were the true people. It was Esau looking to take his birthright and blessing back by setting up a new world order while destroying his little brother, his younger brother, the black man, Jacob. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast. So when Rome began to send out voyagers and discoverers, all the colonies they would set up with churches would worship Satan. They would set up churches, they made us believe we were serving God, but it was really serving the God who gave them power, the beast. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave him power. Gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto this beast? Because we all know her deadly wound was healed with America. And everyone began to wonder after America, like, man, the great glory of America, what country is like this particular country? Not realizing it was just one of the horns out of the 10 horns. It was made out of the fourth beast. But everyone and their mama wanted to come here to do what? To use the slaves, to use Jacob to benefit themselves, to set up stores, enterprises, businesses on the backs of the children of God. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave him power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto this beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. He shall think to change times and laws, like it says in Daniel 7. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. So instead of setting up a government ruled by the commandments written of in the Bible, they would draft their own constitution. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things. I'm at the 5th verse, and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months. That 42 months breaks down the time from Christ's birth up until the consummation to Christ's return. We're talking about 35 jubilees. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God. So when he created this country, atheism began to take hold. People in the country began to forget that God existed. Throughout even the old world, in nations outside of Israel, they all understood that there was a greater God. We all knew that the God of Israel was the God who made all gods. But not until this new horn was created, this new beast, that unbelief began to take hold and have people question the validity of God's existence. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things. I'm in the 5th verse. The 6th verse. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name. That's why they gave you the Tetragrammaton. To uphold the God of Canaan. Yahweh, or the Tetragrammaton, was in Egypt already. That wasn't the Most High's name. That's Satan's name. When you look at Yah, it's a power or God. Hava is wickedness. The God of wickedness is the tetragram. That's the beast that gave Rome their power. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. They began to put up images of themselves as the angels, as the people of the Almighty. 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. So for a time, the Romans had full power over us. And they were able to easily rule us. Why? Because we became re-educated. We started to believe we were Gentile. We started to believe that we were less than, which made it easy for them to just run roughshod over us and have us serve their children throughout all generations. The 8th verse. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundations of the world. See, this is why they don't care about what they're doing, having us distancing from ourselves, separating us, because these people have no soul. They know, folks. They know they're not written in the book of life. They're on a suicide mission against the Most High, and they don't care who goes down with them. They have no soul because they're not written in the book of life, but we are. We are. So right now, because the Most High have begun to awaken his people, and soon the Almighty will send Christ from the throne. Right now, what they're doing now with this reset is putting everyone on punishment. Now, go to your room like some satanic brat, upset. Now that the Most High began to awaken his people, now they want to send everyone to their room. You can't have no fun. Matter of fact, I'm taking my basketball. You can have the court. I'm taking my basketball. That's what's going on right now. They're punishing people for waking up. Okay? They're punishing people for waking up. Go to your room. Be quarantined. And it says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, and whose names are not written in the book of life, the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So Satan is looking to quarantine God's people. But according to Revelations 20, Satan, the God who gave them power, will be permanently quarantined. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Because what? If you build a nation on blood, eventually it comes back. And here we are. Here we are, Iran. They're nudging Iran right now in the midst of all this. So there's a lot of layers prophetically that no one could actually understand without reading the book itself. And we understand it clearly. How long we've been talking about this? This really has been the cornerstone of our ministry since its inception. It says here, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And here is the patience of the faith of the saints. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So this is talking about that beast that came out of Rome now, who's all soft and seems, it seemed as if it's politically correct and treat everyone cordially, but really, they're dragons. They're evil. And it says, this particular beast exercises all the power of the first beast before him. Now, this is talking about America. And causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So now, when America was founded, it set up churches so that we can now worship the original beast. And this is why all the presidents and those high diplomats, when the Pope come around, they kiss the Godfather's ring. The Pope. They didn't set up the Baptist church so that you can serve a separate God. I don't care how much you try to denounce the Catholic Church. You are a part of her because you're carrying her Babylonian water. It says here, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven. Is speaking of their military force, America. He maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. So this is what John is seeing. He's seeing the future. He's seeing some ingenuity, some technology that was not yet created during the time of the disciples. He's seeing the power of America and its military might. 14. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of their miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image of the beast, which had the wound by the sword and did live. Now that image of the beast is a lifestyle. But they also put that image of the beast in picture by changing Christ, a black man, into a white man using a Roman, Cesar Borgia, and use an image to say we must worship this image, because not only will we worship the beast that the Edomites and that the Tin Horns worship, we'll also begin to serve Esau himself as God, as Christ. And with that image comes what? A lifestyle. A lifestyle. Now, in order for you to take full advantage of that lifestyle, you must deny the God of Israel. Listen here. 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, if you're not going to follow their clergy, their ideology, the words that comes from the lion's mouth, which is the Babylonian system, when it comes to religion and the political system, because what we see here with Democrat and Republic and all that, you think it came from Rome? No, all of this was all a part of the Babylonian power structure. So when it talk about the mouth and the image of the beast, it's what comes from them, be it political or religious. And it says here, 15, and he had power to give the image of the beast unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. 16. And he causeth all, both small, great, rich, poor, free, bond, whether you in jail or walking around, rich or poor, whether you just a regular old Joe or LeBron James, okay, whether you're Tom Cruise or just some regular old guy walking up the street, whether you Bill Gates, or Alex Jones or whoever you are, doesn't matter who you are. He causeth all, both small, great, rich, poor, free, bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and in their heads, and that no man might buy or sell, except, that's what save means, except that he had the mark or the number of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Corona. They're using Corona to bring forth this system where no man will buy or sell. They're going to set up an electronic system, and you will not be able to buy or sell unless you do what? Let me show you, because when you look in the Greek, it gives you more in-depth understanding to what that mark of the beast is. Let's go there. Now, they're testing right now. Right now, what they're going to do is they're going to test people's fortitude to see if they will acquiesce to the vaccine for this. Right? But really, that's not the mark of the beast. This is just a test before they roll out the mark of the beast. Through fear of losing your job through corona and fear of losing your house through corona, you're going to say, well, okay, if the government say I got to take a vaccine to get back my life, okay. Well, this is the beta test before they roll out the full system. Now, let's show you the breakdown and the understanding of Revelations 13 and 16. When it says, cause of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond to receive. Receive is the word, a mark. It says receive is what? Self. That's a person, a mark. Now check out this mark. Charagma in the Greek. Charagma. A scratch, etching, a stamp, a badge of servitude. Now, when you look at the etching in a scratch, that's through what? The piercing of skin. This is what John seen. John seen a syringe going into someone and planting someone on the Isle of Patmos in their right hand or in their hands. And when you look at that cause of to receive, it says like a dog eating from the master's hand. A dog eating from the master's hand when you break down the Greek. That means you're dependent on the government like a dog depends on its master putting out the food for he or she, the dog, daily. Okay? Rations of food. You can only get 2 items today. You can only get 2 grains of rice today. Like a dog can't complain. Whatever the master put in the pail is all the food that dog is going to eat today. Like a dog sitting at the master's hand. That's the system that leads to the mark of the beast. Okay? Breaking the socializing of those who would help you through this. Now you can't depend on your own friends and family because they might just be diseased. Now you must worship the beast like a dog sitting and begging at the master's hand. This is what John seen. Now, I wish our people altogether would just understand and do what's right and come back to the Almighty and follow the Most High. But the people are going to panic. I wish we had a public address in which we can address the whole world at one time like the president does. It so happened they have more power than us in communication. They own the communication. But our people are going to fall for it, man. They're going to drink the water. They're going to bathe in it. They're going to do all these things and come down with the symptoms and panic. They're going to run down when welfare says, listen, unless you get this vaccine, unless you get this chip, you will not be able to get no EBD card. You won't get no money. We have to cut your stipend down. Guess what? We're going to be lined up around for the mark of the beast system. The people have been primed already. Why? Mainly because the majority of people have forgotten God and don't even read the Bible and understand that we're living real-time prophecy. Right? Real-time prophecy here. Right? So what you can do now, of course, I digress. I'm done for tonight. We'll be giving reports as we go. I have a meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. with the elders and deacons. And hey, we were all born for this moment. And if you don't think you are, you're here anyway. So what you going to do? Right? So what you going to do? So before I go, let me go to a few phone calls. I would like to say happy Feast of Unleavened Bread. I wanted to, as I get information, I give it to you. As you can see, we talked about this since 2015, that they was going to put down a pipeline and have the whole earth exhibit what happened with that beta test in Flint, Michigan. Okay, that wasn't an isolated scenario. They were testing on a small number of people what they're rolling out now. Okay. So stay linked in. Make sure if you're not in that academy, come in that academy this Sunday, because we're going to go off with that news. Okay, now I'm going to report as much as I can, but of course, I have no idea what Shabbat is going into right now. I mean, I can only imagine what we'll be talking about this Sunday in the Hebrew and Bible Academy. Okay, so get in it. I'm telling you, we're going to be breaking down the creation of the universe, the importance of the creator of the universe, the Most High himself showing his power, how all things were created out of the waters and how important water is. Guess what? We're going to emphasize that in this particular academy coming week 1. Okay, so if you haven't been in the academy, you're missing out. And if you have been in it, it behooves you to get back in. Go to historytimes.org and enroll, because I don't want to have to deal with it when we have the administration up like we have them up almost all night, because people are last minute. Okay, people are last minute, and now we have to work overtime and have people up not even being able to get sleep, because, just help us out. If you're going to be in it, do it now so we can process you before Friday. Please. All right. Go to historytimes.org or gatheringofchrist.org to enroll in the Hebrew and Bible Academy. You don't want to miss it, especially in these times. It's only $50 a month. That's all it is. It helps us do what we do. It helps us finish this work. We have to set up, regardless of what's going on here, because we know what's really going on. We have to get to our people. We have to get to our people, and we can't do that without resources. Okay? And it's deep, because you had all these people out there claiming, and Elder Gabar was talking to me about this today. We have so many people out there, when it came time, when everything was normal, saying that tithing was done away with, offering was done away with, and it's whatever you want to give, and that it's done away with when it's in the law. But now you have people knowing that we were dropping this the whole time, who say that tithes was done away with, so they wasn't even helping out. But yet what are we going to do? What's going on? Oh, so that's what you want to do. You want to come in and try to utilize the finances of people who did tithe to help you get to safety. How does that make sense? Well, I thought tithing was lettuce and tomatoes. Oh, it's grain. It's not money. Well, listen. If it ain't money, then take lettuce and some onions then. Take lettuce and some onions and some tomatoes and see how far that gets you. Okay? We're planning, and we can't plan without substance. So we got everybody, even people who's like, well, we'll get the tithing law, and that everything is shut down now, and you ain't put nothing in the pot and saying, save me, help me get from point A to point B. Okay? So all I'm saying is, we got to help our people anyway. But understand that when we be dropping things in the time of calm, it's for times like now in which we'll need each other. Okay? And the Most High gave us this foresight. We've seen this. We've been talking about this. The Most High had us as he-goats before the flock, going all over the earth teaching the moment we're living in right now. Okay? But I digress. On your... There go Corona for you right there, 666. Okay, there you go. All right, let me answer a few calls here, and then I'm just get me a nice glass of wine, and relax tonight and thank the Most High for today and have him prepare me for tomorrow. Okay? We can't panic. Why? Because the Most High prophesied this moment. Don't let anyone panic you into your own cell, because that's what's going to happen. Into your own demise. Oh, you better do something. Nah. We being guided by the Spirit. Okay? Don't let somebody panic you into getting hurt and destroyed out there. Okay? You're dealing with a person that's panicking. That's a person without faith. They're dangerous. They're very, very dangerous. Okay? 216 area code. Shalom. Hold on. Let me put the speaker in so they can hear you, okay?
Okay.
All right, one moment. All right, let's see here. All right, say something now, brother.
How you doing?
Hey, I couldn't be better. I mean, we just had a great Passover.
Right.
I mean, the lamb was succulent. I mean, Christ died on the cross for our sins. We're celebrating the holy days according to its precise time. We're living in the moment that only the prophets have longed to see. Hey, this is the best, one of the best days of my life. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah?
Well, I'm the same here, brother.
All right.
But I just wanted to I wanted to know if I can mention to the things what I'm seeing what's going on where I'm at.
Floor is yours.
All right, as far as where I see where I'm going, where I'm at, I stay in Vegas, and the city is on a partial lockdown. Because what I seen yesterday, that they locked down LA, as in they locked LA down that you cannot go to no parks, no bars, and etc. It's closed. What I noticed out here where I'm at in Vegas, you can still go to the parks. People still going on regularly, and I'm speaking as in black people, colored people, they going on regularly as is nothing is going on. And going on to like what you were saying, like, are people going to panic? I agree with you so much with that, because we on a level of that our people no longer look at TV. The internet is control over that. Our people do more like Facebook, social media things. That's what they more concerned with.
Okay.
Like far as it's getting information of what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing. And I'm bringing this up because I'm noticing how I see all these black kids outside with no coats on and all this kind of stuff, and they just out here just mingling like it's everything is all right. But when I go around in another community, like with the white people, you know what I'm saying, they covered up. They got masks on their faces and stuff like that. You know, and I just like it's amazing to me. And I talk to my mother back home. She tell me the same thing. But I noticed though, when I look at the Cleveland news, like it's a doctor out there that caught the so-called coronavirus. What I'm starting to see is like all these high-profile type people catching it, and that's why they're trying to put a lockdown on the United States of America, because all these big profile so-called type of people catching it. And, you know, it was an entertainer.
I got you, brother.
It was a so-called entertainer that died from the virus.
Okay, we have a lot of calls. We have a lot of calls, but just wrap it up for me.
All right, thank you. That's all I wanted to say, though.
Oh, okay, my brother. All right. Try to be respectful. I'm with you, brother.
Right.
Try to be respectful of the time for other people, so we don't cut them off. We only got a few minutes per. So if you can just bring 1 or 2 points and just keep it there, that would be great. What he's saying is that there's a different scenario in how our people are taking it, the scare, and how the people in the suburbs are taking it. And in a way that's good, in a way that's bad. I'm saying how we're doing it. In a way it's good, in a way it's bad. The good thing about it is it's flying in the face of what they're talking about, because in the hood, we don't see anything different. The hood is the hood. And we only believe what we see normally in the hood. So that's the good thing, to know that no one is really dying of this thing. But the bad thing is there's going to be someone somewhere with a camera just showing that we are ignoring a national emergency. And they're going to use that to say, when somebody do come down with it, after they pump that stuff through the pipes and all that, and we begin to be the poster child of Corona and know that's coming, they're going to say, this is why these people now are disproportionately affected by the virus. They were ignoring the president's warning. They were ignoring the state of emergency. They was acting like things were normal, and while we were being careful. So don't think the media is not going to use that. So this is going to cause a racial divide, because the suburbs, they were being extra careful, and they were like, hell, if I'm going to catch something because you didn't listen to the president, because you wasn't listening to your politicians. I have to say, and now if I was taking extra precautions around a safe suburban area, I'm darn sure not letting you around me being irresponsible. So there's a fine line with that. You understand? It's good that we know that it's still the hood. Everything is normal. When the springtime comes, we enjoy ourselves. We enjoy the sun. We're people of the sun. It's good to know that there's really not anything out there harming us. But how they're going to use the optics of a whole community ignoring a national emergency is going to be used against the people. Unfortunately. All right. Next call. What's that? 832? 832 area code.
Yes, sir. Shalom, Elder.
Shalom. Bless you. Happy Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Yes, sir. The Passover was amazing. The Feast of Unleavened Bread was amazing as well.
Great.
A few things I wanted to say, just to back up what you were saying regarding the oil and gas industry. I worked in it from 2018 to 2019. I sold diesel fuel to oil and gas companies for drilling and fracking operations. And I was able to go out to Oklahoma in the Scoop and Stack Shale, to Texas in the Permian Basin and the Eagle Ford Shale, and also Louisiana and the Bogart Parish. And I saw that, number one, going out to those shale plays, they were laying pipelines to send condensate to the bank. However, they were also laying pipelines to put poisons in the water. And I'm just saying that to back up exactly what you were saying. A lot of the company men on site, they informed me what was going on, because I was asking a lot of questions. So I just wanted to back that up. And I thought it was interesting because, basically they use the condensate for daily things. And so when they're also constructing other construction and laying other pipelines, questions kind of stem up like, what is this for? And a lot of the company men on those sites that were keeping it on the low key, they liked me and they were telling me that they also were using it to contaminate the water. So that was just the back
right there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now.
Yes, sir.
Who said they were using something to contaminate the water? Who?
Company man. And the definition of a company man, the company man is who the people in the office, they send out to conduct the whole operation. That is a drilling operation and a frack operation. Drilling is what they do to go down into the ground, right, to get to the shale play. And for fracking is what they call completion. When they complete it, they've reached that shale play, And now what they do is shoot down a perforating gun, and it explodes, and it cracks. So then they shoot down acid, they shoot down sand, and they shoot down water, and it's called proppant. And what that does is it goes in on the surface, and it props open the cracks from that perforating gun. What they're not telling people is that when those cracks prop open, they actually reach the aquifers. And so that's how it contaminates the water. Not only does it contaminate the water in that way, other company men who I got real close with out there in the field, they informed me that they were laying pipelines for other reasons that had nothing to do with sending the condensate that they're getting out of the ground. And then eventually, I started beginning to ask questions, and they told me that they were also contaminating the water. And so what you're saying in the broadcast that you brought forth today is accurate. For anyone listening, and what you brought forth is 100% correct. And I just wanted to bring that out because I heard it, and I've worked in that industry, and I've been to, and I'm just saying this, there's major oil shale plays throughout all the United States. I'm just speaking for Oklahoma, Texas, and Louisiana. And those are the company men. Once again, the company men are the head guys that are running an operation that costs $120,000 a day just to be out there. So they're real stressful. So I just wanted to let you know that. I just wanted to bring that out, sir.
Man, thank you, brother. I really appreciate the report. That's needed. That's confirming a lot of what we were talking about since 2015, and hopefully it will help our people to not drink the city water, not to get different water to utilize for consumption. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Can I say one more thing, Elder?
All right, go ahead.
And when I was out there, sir, yes, sir, when I was out there, I immediately thought of the broadcast that was put out in 2015. Now, that was in 2015. I wasn't experiencing this until 2018 and 2019. So when you first brought on the broadcast and you said, look, this was back in 2015, when I was out in the field, I thought about it immediately. And so that was a confirmation for me, seeing it firsthand, okay, this is real. So I knew for a fact, okay, and so now what I do, I have bottled water, I do natural alkaline water, and I've invested into shower heads and faucets to clean the water so for the family ever since I heard that. So I just wanted to put that out there as well, sir.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And you know what? Listen, I'm not getting any type of kickback for sponsoring Alex Jones or anything. You know what I mean? But I believe that Alex Jones, even though he had to toe the line to stay on syndicated radio to some degree, and some of the things he say I don't agree with, but some of the things he did put himself out there to warn people about certain things. And I'm not about to be the one to throw out the baby with the bathwater, right? So, and I'm saying that to say this: Alex Jones or no Alex Jones, he do have some key equipment that if you go to band.video or go to prisonplanet.com and get that infiltration system, okay, it works. I have one. And this is a can that you will get. You can take your regular spigot water, pour it into that, and it got filters in it. And it'll come down and drip and filter to the bottom and give you water that you can safely drink or utilize. And if you want to be extra careful with that water, after it drips and filters to the bottom, you can boil it and kill anything else that's left in it, okay? Because usually a virus or something cannot withstand high temperatures. See? But you can still go to his site, get you one of those filters. It's about $200, but it'll be one of the best $200 you've spent. They got the filters in there that filters out all types of stuff. I have one. Okay? You pour your water in it, boom. Now if you can't afford that right now, understandably so, you can go to Walmart if it's still there and get yourself a brick filter and buy a bunch of filters and filter your drinking water through it and use that water to cook with. It's time to become extra responsible because all types of stuff is coming out of our pipes. And I wouldn't be putting it out there without giving you some short-term solutions until we drinking good water over in the wilderness, okay? All right, next call. Next call. I'm going to go take a few more, all right? Because it's time for me to go to bed, actually. I mean, I've had a long weekend. You could imagine. All right. I'll just take a few more calls. Who's next? All right. I already had that. 340 area code. And after that.
Hi, Elder.
After that, 609. How are you?
Hi, Elder. How are you doing?
I'm blessed by the best, and his name is Ahaya.
Yay! Praise Ahaya.
Yeah.
Elder, on this topic, the feelings and the sentiments here in the islands is exactly as you say, with the suspiciousness or suspicions, and this suspicious mode leads even to like that downtrodden, hopeless spirit in people. This makes me think about that, like in another way, the love of many waxing cold. In this way,
exactly,
with the so-called coronavirus in there, the love of many waxing cold, separation and isolation. And because of all like the possessed people now on earth and the confusion and evil suspicions and all that, throughout the populations of the earth, people are becoming more and more frustrated and hateful or afraid or hysterical, and this virus thing it's so severe that it's like people are thinking about it more so of surviving than actually calling on the Most High. And I can see what you were saying about people giving up Matthew 10, giving up one another, and that verse of then you'll know who are my chosen comes to mind for those who won't bend to the martial law impositions and stuff like that. And because we as a people didn't act out like how they wanted us to, with the Black Lives Matter and the rioting and all that. We didn't go that route. Now they're going to cause us to, in bulk, want to riot or cause us to take that mark. But I'm thinking that they're going so fast with this thing. It's very fast, major changes, that this is a sign to us as Jacob and the whole world that the controllers are running scared. They're running scared with the prophecies unfolding, and this corona scare is just literally showing the cards in their hands that they're limited and their seers are not going to see very soon. So I think, it's kind of reminding me of Egypt, with the pushing and wanting to keep us as if we belong to them when we belong to the Most High. So this is why I think, like we did in Egypt, we as a nation and those Gentiles that sojourn with us, we must open our hands and pray without ceasing, to our God, Ahaya, and stop wasting time in the short time. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. You always bring some good points and a good spirit. I really appreciate it, sister. All right? Bless you.
Praise the Most High. Bless you, Elder.
Bless
you. The Most High.
Yeah. And then she still made a point. She made this point. That's why Christ said the love of many shall wax cold. This is a time of year in which when the springtime comes out, usually it brings happiness. It brings out the best in people after being cooped up all winter, right? Even poor people, if you don't have much, you can still enjoy the sun. You can take your children down to a festival or something that don't cost any money to the park. You understand? And it's a time where love begins. All right. Even the animals begin to mate and come out and mate and bring forth more life in the earth. And you can look on a park bench and you can see new love, teenage love, where someone is sitting down and the other person who they love have their head in their lap and all those things and holding hands and, love, the things that Satan hates. And only a wicked spirit would be against natural affection. See? Being against natural affection. And that's what's going on right now, folks. And the love of many shall wax cold. Great point. No one is going to stop me from caring about those that I love. Now, by the same token, I'm going to always care about those I love, my family, my church family, and my personal family. But my family, I'm speaking of my family that are not in the work, are going to have to listen to me. They're going to have to, not operate in the spirit of fear. And they're not, and do things to make sure that they're not exhibiting these particular symptoms. That's why I wouldn't send water to my mother and say, listen, I know you love to cook, and I know how convenient that is. It's coming out of that faucet, but let my brother have my brother pour the water for you, and we can cook with this water. We're going to wash with this water, because this is what they're going to use to have you think that you're sick. All right. So you got to make sure we do the right things, so that, because you don't want to be a person where they put that stigma on you or that tag on you. All right. And to a degree where no one can get to you. All right. And it's deep. It's deep how it seems like all other diseases have magically disappeared, didn't it? I mean, there's no more people dying of flu. There's no more people dying of cold, because they've been told, elderly people and people with compromised immunity, to stay away from people with a cold, even before Corona. There's no more people dying of cancer, AIDS, all this other stuff they were using for fear. I don't hear none of those numbers anymore. What about you? Everything is Corona, isn't it? Why? Because Corona is in all the common viruses and diseases. So if you die from anything, they can use the Corona that's in your genetic makeup because you had a cold in your life to say, yeah, Corona had a part of that too. All of a sudden, everyone on the earth no one has a regular common cold anymore. You notice it? Whether it be a basketball player, a politician, a news reporter, no one has a common cold anymore. I mean, this Corona is pretty deep, because it has magically disappeared any other virus on earth. Okay? Every other virus that I don't hear, no hospitals reporting about any other virus on earth. But I digress. 773. No, I said 609, right? 609, that you up next. Shalom. I'll take two more and then
Hello?
I'm going for the night. Shalom.
Yes. I had called last week.
Okay.
About joining the body and getting baptized.
Yeah, we have your number, brother. We have your number, and we have someone that's going to get with you. But I'll write your number down again. And is that all you calling about? Which that's important. But you're just reminding me that you need a call, correct?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. Of course. I mean, man, we're about to just dunking everybody in the water. I mean, you put me back, I put you. It's time. We all need some good water right now. So don't worry about it, brother. I'm going to be on point with that, because I don't want Satan to come in and try to stifle this moment. Somebody is in our chat acting out. Okay, it seems like this is the devil's daughter up in here. All right. Okay, let's see if we can put you in gigabyte land forever. See that? That one click did it. You're out of here. All right. Give me your name, brother.
Wayne Carter.
Okay. What city and state?
South Jersey, inside Farley.
Okay. 1 second, because I'm going to make sure a moth gets your number right now. 1 moment. Hold on. He's going to call.
Thank you.
He's going to call you while this broadcast is going on, if he's on there. And you know what? That brother be right on. Hey, he be right on point. So ain't no problem with that. Hold on. Let me see if he's on. Hold on. Okay. Yes, he is. He's here. All right. I'm going to put your name in the chat. Okay. And your number. And your number here. I'm glad you persisted, man. I appreciate that. You can I know you can't even imagine what we're going through right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But we're here to serve the people, brother. You are our people, and I'm sure the Most High have something great. You have a great brick to bring to build this kingdom, so it's all good. We need you, Wayne. So hold on. Please call for church. I'm sending it to. I just did it while we were speaking, brother. Is it good?
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So you will be getting a call from Bishop Amav. Oh, he said okay. That was him that popped up. So that's real time technology, right? There you go. I appreciate it.
All right.
My brother. All right, he's gonna call you. He's calling you now. 773. Let's go down. I have two more, and then we'll wish you all Godspeed. Shalom. (773) area code. Once, twice.
Shalom.
Shalom. How are you?
I'm fine. Happy feast of unleavened bread, Elder.
Thank you.
And
Bless you.
I wanted to ask a question.
Yes.
In regards to in the times that we're in, the last days, and Joel 2:28 and Acts 2:17, do you believe that we're experiencing those things right now?
We've been
experiencing pouring out His Spirit.
We've been experiencing that. We've been experiencing that since the Holy Spirit came down on the disciples. Yes, of course. It's not as if there was a certain moment, like the Most High would wait for the end for that to actually happen. That Spirit was actually fulfilled. The beginning of that Spirit for those who would believe and be baptized began on the first fruits, the day of Pentecost. But according to our dedication and what you would call our connection to that Spirit, on whether or not that Spirit affects us personally. All right. It's not like something just coming down one day at a certain hour. It's after you have put off sin and accepted Christ and have been baptized and are following God's law, where you'll begin to fulfill those particular prophecies. You got it?
Okay. Yeah. So the reason why I asked the question is because last year I had an experience. I was watching a teaching, Jacob's Trouble, or one of the videos.
Okay.
And afterwards, I began to pray. I stood up and I faced the east and I started praying. And I asked the Father, I said, Father, you know what to come, Father. Prepare us. Let us know what to do to be prepared for this, for what's to come.
Okay.
And I saw a vision.
Okay.
And it was a man, and he was facing the east, just like me, and he was pointing forward, and he said, focus right now, focus on the Most High right now. He said, let every distraction go.
Okay.
He said, there's no more time. Focus right now, right now. He said, have laser focus.
Okay. Well, hey, if the Spirit told you to focus, then that was a good spirit, because that's what the scriptures say. What else before I go to the next call here?
Right, and so that was the thing. It was just I shared it with Elder Gabar.
Okay.
But the fact that I saw the vision and he said focus right now. He said time was up, and this was last year around in May. Okay. And I was like, oh my goodness, so something's coming, right? Something is coming. So now, with this happening and everything's moving so quickly, I believe that was a warning for us.
Hey, you know what? But that was a warning for you. Did you focus?
Oh, okay.
No, I'm asking you. Did you focus?
Yes.
There you go. See, because when I say that's a warning for you, because you have to realize when it says shall prophesy and dream dreams, the first warning comes to the person who's received it and applies it, right?
Okay.
So the whole thing is,
right,
The whole thing is everything you're saying is a confirmation with what the prophets were shown to warn the people and blow the trumpet and to warn the people. Just like years ago, we was on the street saying eventually we're going to have to leave this place. And you know what?
Right.
We're almost here. It's at the door. But
That's
there's still some work to do. All right? But yes, sister.
Right.
Hey, welcome to the righteous party. Okay?
Thank you. All right.
You're welcome. All right. Bless
Thank you. Be blessed. And then, all right. Shalom.
Shalom. Yeah. Even today, like I said, I was woken up with this thing about water out of nowhere. I'm sure that came from a dream or whatever. And it says, you know what? And I looked at it. I'm like, hold up. Let me go back to that old video because I think that woman, Janet Phelan, was talking about what we're dealing with now. They took down the video and we had to restructure the name of the video to upload it back on our page. And I almost forgot about that. And everything she said in 2015 in that conversation she had with us is to the letter with what's being played out right now. So that's another example how real time that we shall see visions, shall dream dreams, and the Most High will deal with his elect. And all of us, guess what? That's what all of his chosen. That's all of us have that. But some of us don't have the propensity to tap in and to remember what the Most High have shown us while asleep. But he works with all of us in our dreams. All right, next one. 917.
Shalom, Mother. How you doing?
I'm blessed by the Almighty, and his name is Ahia. Talk to me.
Yeah, so I hope you had a happy and blessed Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. But what I did wanted to ask, actually 2 questions and a comment. Comment is that, I am so sad that we couldn't all congregate in Pittsburgh for this Passover. I was really looking forward to it. My husband and I were looking forward to it, but, we understand the times that we live in. It couldn't happen. But some of the vendors that I know were going to be there, we've been, supporting their businesses and things like that. Is there a link on the website that maybe can be posted? Or I don't know. I'm just asking about the vendors who were probably going to vend, that probably, spent money to vend at the Passover that couldn't vend, that maybe we can be able to see just who and what the businesses are so that we can support our brothers and sisters. Because, definitely amongst these times, we definitely want to try to support our businesses within the community.
Okay, well, sister, that's a good idea because we're going to be talking about that. I have a meeting with the elders and deacons tomorrow, and that's one of the that's one of the talking points. Being that we missed that this year, what can we do to fill in for that to make sure brothers and sisters get supported? We're going to bring them on the radio show with their products or whatever the case is and make sure not only will we have access to them like privately at the Passover, that the world can now order their products real time to make up for because some of our brothers and sisters put a lot of money and time into getting their products together and just sitting on stuff that can benefit our people. What better time to make sure the world receive this and we can send it out through mail, because mail is one of the rare businesses that are still in play right now. It's one of the life needing a life sustaining businesses. It's going to be there. So we're going to use the mail to make sure that now all those that would have supported us in the not Hebrew Bible Academy, that's on my mind, who would have supported us at the Passover they can send their stuff out throughout the whole earth, taking advantage of this platform. So what we can do is we can put 10, 15 minutes aside per program and make sure those would have had a vending table at the Passover. We can come on and discuss what they have a picture or video with what the products they have, and then we can tell them exactly what website to go to and order it, and they'll sell more there to help their families through this time than they would have at the Passover. So instead of having access to
that's great.
Yeah, instead of having access to 2,000-3,000, now they're having access to tens of thousands with their product. So sometimes if we work together like this, majority of the time, the Most High can have something for good for us, so the brothers and sisters don't have to worry about it. I thought about that They didn't waste all that time getting that product together to help our people. There's some people out there who needs that, who wouldn't have probably been at the academy. So we're going to open it up where now we have these broadcasts 2-3 times a week. We're going to bring on these vendors. And if you have something that people need, because everyone is scavenging right now, maybe you have some soaps, maybe you have other things, body oils, whatever the case is that you probably can't get with stores being shut down right now. You can be that person, that brother or sister that can help our people through this who can't get products otherwise. So we already thought about it, and that will be discussed, sister, at our meetings tomorrow. All right.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, because I know like one of the sisters in Connecticut, along with her mom and the GOCC South Carolina body, they have a business to where, I was able to get hand sanitizer. So praise the Most High. And then, of course, you have Sister Yapat, that sells, her 4 thieves and stuff like that. So just to, put that out there as far as, like how can we help the others that didn't get a chance to vent. But also one more quick question, being that the Hebrew Bible Academy is coming up next week for the first, a lesson 1 for the first week.
Yeah.
If my husband wants to view on, should we pay $50 per person or $50 per the household? Because we want to make sure that we're in compliance with what's right.
I'm glad you're asking that question because others have that question. The way it works is that we can't do it under what you would call a community or gathering view, like someone bringing a bunch of people to their home. What we suggest is if it's in your house and you're paying for it, of course, you and your husband and those that live in your immediate house, yes, that's within the rules of that. And we'll also send that out in your welcome pack. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So no, y'all don't have to pay.
Right.
Y'all don't have to pay separately. Now we have had instances where a husband and wife would say, "Well, listen, I want my own thing sent to me. I want my own package. I want my own PDFs and all that." So they would do it separate so that they can store and do things they want separately. But that's at your discretion. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I mean, and another thing is, I want to thank Sister Shirley because she worked great. She worked day and night, spending gas money, staying over hotels and everything, so that we could actually go. We were going to do a play for the Passover, showing Christ during that last 7 days, and that's not going to go to waste. What we're going to do is, if the Most High open things up after this, in which we have some level of normal, then when we go into the other areas, teaching and all that, we're going to also have the play showing Christ's last days. And I mean, it's profound. So all the work isn't going to go to waste either. We're going to make sure that if it be the Most High's will, and we have time through this, then we'll also have that play so that the world could see and go to different venues with it. So let's see. It depends on what the Most High does with this thing. We're looking past this 2 weeks. If this 2 weeks are turning into 2 months and they're kicking it down the road 2 months, 3 months, and then that means we have to kick what we're doing into overdrive and understand, okay, it's time for our last fail-safe plan. So we're going to give this 2 weeks that's going on here, talking with the elders, getting the list together, how many people in the church who's baptized, how long people have been here, how much we have, what resources we have, what options outside of the cities we have for people who might need to be in other cities. That's where we are right now within the church, in the guidance and the elders of the church, making sure people are praying together and looking out for those that are within the body. But again, if this 2 weeks turn into they kicking it down the road and say, well, a month, 2 months, 3 months, then we're going to know that what they're really doing. Okay. And at that point, we have to go straight to the, we have to go straight to the plan Z. Okay. There's no more letters left. Let's start making those moves. Let's help people and then be able to guide people as they grow in the knowledge into where we'll be in different locations. And believe me, the Most High have opened up avenues for that to happen. So, and that's where that's at. All right, 414 area code. 414 area code. Last call for this evening. Okay. 910 area code. 910 area code.
Shalom, Elder.
Shalom, how are you?
Okay, I'm going to make it quick because I know it's late. I had applied for the academy a couple of weeks ago. Am I going to get any information about when it starts and the time?
Okay, yeah. If you've already enrolled, don't worry about it. Before Friday, you will have an email. Make sure if not your regular mail, if not your regular mail, check your junk or spam. But yes, because of the Passover and all that were participating in the Passover and traveling and all that, the administration wasn't able to get right up on it and return and give you a return that you'll receive a packet this week. But don't worry about it. You will receive something before Friday, okay?
Okay, and I tried to call the number that you had, the 215, but it just kept being disconnected. So I don't know if that number's still.
Oh, the number's
workable?
good. The number's good. It's good, but it only works when I have it up. So if it knocks right out, know that you have to probably call between 12 and 2 o'clock on any respective day. And another thing, listen. Another thing you can do if you can't get us through the phone, you can text that number, so that when we do open it up, we'll see your text and respond back. All right.
Okay. And then I wanted to attend the church that was in North Carolina, but no one has contacted me. And then I tried to Google the address, but it will never come up.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Do you have a church in Rockland?
Oh yes, we do. I'm gonna hook that up for you right now.
Okay.
Man, God just say this might be a time in which we should begin to do that. We can do our breakfast program. Get up in the morning with the people with the beef, bacon, cheese, and eggs and home fries. All right.
Bacon. Did you say bacon?
You don't know about beef
bacon,
sister? Don't tell me you don't know about beef bacon.
Oh yes, I do. It's kind of expensive, but that's all I eat.
I'll tell you what.
Most of the time,
you cut that thing thin and make it crispy. Take some home fries with some caramelized onions. You whip it up with that salt and pepper. Put the herbs up in that thing. Whip it up, home style. Put that thing on the side. Let it sizzle with it.
Are you making me hungry?
Cheese and eggs with the cheddar. Scramble that thing up. And if you really want to get with it, if you really want to make it right, we can't do it during the Feast of Unleavened Bread, but you got to whip up a side of French toast with maple syrup on the side of that thing. And have a breakfast show. And make sure you put on your fringes.
Okay.
Get ready to get it in the morning. So yeah, we're going to think about that morning show. I'm getting hungry as we speak. But it's a Feast of Unleavened Bread, and you can't you can't make flatbread into French toast. Or maybe I can. But thank you, sister. I appreciate you. And hold up, let me take your number down. Hold on, let me take your number down here. 1 second.
Okay.
All right. All right. Let me have your name if you don't mind.
I didn't change my name to Leah, so that's the name I have to go by.
Okay, your name is what? Leah?
Last name is Leah.
You said Leah?
Well, last name is Leah, Leah.
Okay, that's easy.
And Turner.
All right.
My last name.
Okay, one moment, okay? Let me see. Okay, 1 second. All right. 1 second. I'm thinking. Lawyer. That's who. Lawyer is over the south. We're going to make sure we get this to Brother Al. in the North Kakalaki, North Carolina. That's where my mama was born. Oh, Leah, what part of what part of North Carolina? Sister?
No, Leah, like our born mother, Leah.
I got you.
Leah, Leah,
I got you. I got you. I know it. I got you. What part of North Carolina are you from?
My real name too.
What part of North Carolina? Stick with me.
Well, right now in Siler City.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're gonna give your number to Bishop Owl over there, and he'll contact you. And welcome to the body. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Shalom.
Shalom.
And all right. Good night.
Good night. Bless you. I'm glad you were able to get through.
All right. Bye.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right, sir. Good night.
Okay, we only have 2 more in the queue, so I'll take this too. 352 area code. You're live with the Gathering of Christ Church. (352), you're live. No? Okay, let's go to the next call then. 518.
Shalom, Elder.
Shalom. Last call for the evening. Blessed you.
Yes, I reside in Albany, and I was just concerned about getting baptized.
Okay. Are you in Albany, Canada? Albany what? Albany, New York?
Albany, New York.
Albany, New York. Yes, I'm sorry. I wasn't talking about. All right. And did you call before?
No, I normally speak to Sister Shirley. I congregate with the church in New York City mostly, but it's been hard for me to travel out there lately.
Okay. All right. So, what you close to in New York?
I'm like in between Syracuse and New York City.
Okay, Syracuse. All right. All right, because if you're already talking to Sister Shirley, you have a better chance of getting to Gabar through her. Right? Gabar never reached out to you?
No. I've been waiting for some time now.
Okay. Well, this is what I'm going to do right now, and I'm doing it for everyone else. All right. 1 second. Gabar. This is the baptized line, ain't it? Hold on. Gabar ya Allah Yasha Allah. I had a great time with him, sharing with his family this weekend. It's been the Most High. Please contact. Let me have your name. Your name.
Jasmine.
Jasmine. Okay, for church. Okay. And I have your number. The number you called on is good. That's the number I can reach you with? We can reach you?
Yes.
All right, great. I have it. Okay. All right, we good to go. That's our show for this evening. Anything else?
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, that's all I was concerned with. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Welcome to the family, and we'll call you soon. Shalom. Okay, we have somebody waiting anonymously. Okay, Gabar did confirm, sister, that he has the number, so he'll call you. We have someone waiting anonymously who I think called from Skype. Talk to me.
Shalom, Elder.
Shalom, talk to me.
Hi, Elder. I just wanted to make 2 quick points. I was listening to the broadcast. One was about the water, because I know you had mentioned before about the water, but I wanted to just talk about the distilled water, because I know you guys had talked about it before, and I did some research on it, and I found out distilled water is actually the best water to drink, because when you evaporate the water, the distilled water is not the water that's left behind. The distilled water is the evaporated water that's captured. So that evaporated water is pure. It's pure water.
Okay.
So that it leaves all the contaminants behind. So I just want to mention that. And then also the second point was about an herb. I found an herb that is good to fight fevers that the Peruvian Indians used to use to fight fevers, and now they're using it for malaria. And this where this drug that Trump was talking about, chloroquine, comes from.
All right,
and the herb is called cinchona. It's
okay.
Cinchona.
Okay, hold up. Let me spell the herb. Spell it for me.
Cinchohona.
COH what?
CINCOHCHA. Cinchona.
Okay. Cinchona.
CINCHONA. Cinchona.
Okay.
It's a bark from a tree.
Oh yeah, that's what.
And it's found mostly in Peru.
Believe it or not, they use that bark over in Africa. And see, America be tricking our people into taking this malaria shot, going into malaria. I mean, going into Africa, thinking that you're gonna die if you go of malaria over there, which is utterly ridiculous. When they have other stuff hiding in that vaccine. When you go over there, the Africans tell you we don't deal with that no vaccine. They have a bark from a tree that they put in the tea to drink for malaria, and it heals them. So maybe it's this what you're saying, cinchona.
Right.
Yeah, cinchona. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that you're going to get a vaccine for everything. Leave us alone with this crap. Okay, the Most High made herbs.
Yeah.
The Most High made herbs for healing. He didn't make vaccines for healing. All right, go ahead. One last point.
Just that the pharmaceutical that they're making is called chloroquine, and the Chinese did some tests on it, and now the U.S. is doing tests on it, and it seems to be like 70% effective for this type of virus. So, but where they get that chemical from is from this herb called cinchona.
So in a nutshell, because we're running out of time, they can get cinchona and deal with the fevers themselves, and forego some of the poisons that might get in their bloodstreams, right?
Exactly.
Okay. All right, I got you. All right, well, time is out, brother, and you can call in. I'll be jumping in anytime the Most High give me something going forward. I'll jump in and do the best I can to warn our people and prepare us for the time to come. Elders and deacons that are over the congregations, bless you, brother. I'm gonna place you on hold. We will be together tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you're with us, and we're going to have this conversation so that we can understand what's going on in the areas and help the people that are baptized within the body through these times. Okay? So if you're in the body, know that we're working for you. In the name of Ahaya, Bashim Yeshaya, Tawara Tamyad, Aman, rise Israel, and guess what? I'm going to play the song out. You got it. Jacob crying.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Let's play it. Let's end the program with the song, and which will be you'll have it in digital form with our new release, Music with the Purpose Volume 2. It will be one of the featured songs, Jacob Crying by Shane Courtney. Here it comes.
I hear Jacob crying. Why I can hear him crying. When you gonna rise, call on the Lord. Mighty Jacob, rise. Let's hear your roar. When you gonna rise, Jacob? Thinking you coming? Thinking you cries, Jacob? Thinking you coming? I feel Jacob rising. Can you see? I can see him rising. Jacob, dry your eyes and call on the Lord. Mighty Jacob, rise to be restored. Troubles are brewing, Jacob. You need to stop what you're doing. Oh, Jacob. No, the promise is waiting.
The promise is waiting.
Oh, Jacob. You need to call on the Lord so I can hear Jacob crying. I can hear him crying. Jacob, dry your eyes and call on the Lord. Mighty Jacob, rise, and you will be restored. Troubles are brewing, oh Jacob. Just stop what you're doing. Stop it, Jacob. Because the promise is waiting. Oh, Jacob. So call on the Lord, and He will hear your voice. Oh, Jacob, let us hear it. Oh no, let's hear that roar. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Ooh, Jacob, come and call on the Lord.